Alright everyone, so I'm going to show you how to install the Accord climate control unit using the EKP conversion kit into your CRX. So whether you're at this stage, you probably bought the kit and glued this yourself, or you bought the whole assembly from me. Either way, you're ready to install in the car now. So let me show you what you'll need here. You'll need the piggyback harness that's included with your kit. You'll need the two knobs. This is the OEM knob that came off your car originally, and the Accord knob if you like. Your two mounting screws that came from your OEM mixer, and then a screwdriver. And then you'll need 3 screws also for this climate control unit, which I have back behind me here. So before you get started, you're going to have to remove the whole dash, middle assembly here. And make sure you remove the whole radio assembly unit here. Obviously the covers that cover this whole thing up. And still keep your mixer cables attached, just because they're very easy to break. I'm not going to lie, it's really easy to break these, and you want to be very careful. That's why I'm trying to make this kit to make things easy for you guys. The only thing you will have to disconnect on the cable is this front cable here that I have labeled in white. This is actually going to go under your dash, and if you find it, it'll go to a little eyelet on the bottom that you connect to, and I'll kind of show you that right now. It is, bear with me while I squat down, it is right back here, right where my finger is. You kind of see that? That's where that connects to. So it's really easy, just a little clip. You can see where my finger is at right here. You just undo the housing and get that disconnected. That's because you're gonna have to reroute that a little bit once you get this thing all mounted up. So yeah, let's get started on mounting this mixer now into the climate control unit. Alrighty, so for this step, you're gonna take your piggyback harness now, and you're gonna go ahead and plop it onto your climate control unit. So you're gonna have only 2 plugs, one right here. And then you have this green wire. This is a wire that is spliced over the 2 connectors. You're gonna have to make sure that's underneath, and you can use a bit of electrical tape to secure it against this back housing right here. So just kind of go ahead and tape that on, and then plug in your green plug here. Perfect. So next, we're gonna start driving this thing up into its resting place. So in order for you to get this to work, you'll have to take this front cable and kind of bring it over the top. As you can see here, this kind of cable goes over the top, and it's going to go over the top of this center support where your glove box is, over the center up there. And then take the back cable, that's where my finger's on right now, and you're going to route this in the same direction. There's going to be a little bit of a gap, and you're just going to kind of bring that over so it's coming up top. Okay, and still make sure this front cable is disconnected. We'll disconnect as our last step, or we'll connect this up as our last step, I should say. Alright, so if you go back to the center console here, we're just going to fight this in here. And this is not the easiest step, because you have the cables fighting you now, and then you have the plugs fighting you. But just take the cables and kind of hold it back, and take your knob out. Let's make some clearance there. Start right. Alright, so sorry, I paused the video real quick just because I forgot one step. Make sure you angle this whole climate control unit upwards, facing up like that, at a 45-degree angle. That's going to help you a lot when installing this. As you can see here, it will just literally slide in. Alright, so now you can get your little alignment pins into your center structure there. And then now you could go ahead and take the front cable that you disconnected, and now route that behind this pillar here. Behind this pillar right here. Just go ahead and snake that back there. Try not to bend it, of course, because you might bind it up. Good. Now you can bring this whole thing forward now. There we go. You can see that aligns up. And you see how these pins help you. If they break off, it is okay. Just try not to force it. But you can see how all the holes will align now. So now you can go ahead and get your screws. These screws I did include into the kit. These are from the original Accord. You could use these if you'd like, or you could use the one that originally came off your original climate control, which I believe the ones that come off are black typically. These are gold. It's the same diameter, just a little bit, the length's a little bit different, but it'll do the job. So slowly kind of drive that in there. Make sure it's perpendicular, of course, and bring that in slowly. And just don't apply too much torque. You don't need it. Very little torque. Same with this one. So you can skip this part of me screwing in if you obviously know what to do here. This is obviously pretty easy. Very little torque, just snug. You don't need any more torque. The plastic is gonna bite into these fasteners and make it nice and snug. All right, last one here. Very slow. Good, you can start feeling that bite. Good. Just check the torque on the last ones. Good, now that's in there. Pretty good. So you can put your knob back on if you like. But we're not done yet, so we'll take that out. So you can see your piggyback's going to hang out from the bottom here, which is good. Now you're going to be able to connect your harness directly to the back of it, as you can see. So just go ahead and plug that up. Good, and then one last one, green to green. Perfect. And then at this point, if you like, you could test this out in the car, make sure all your functions work. They all should work. Obviously, you could check this beforehand if you move the harness and do it out here. You can go ahead and check the function of that. But these are all tested before they're shipped out. But I would always make sure that this works before you get to this step, because it is a bit of a work. So next, you're going to plug this back in. This is very easy. You're just going to loop this into the back onto the stud and then clip it back up, and they'll be done with that. All right. So yeah, so next step is pretty much done. You're just gonna have to put in your center console, put your radio back in, and that's pretty much it. And then your center, basically cover for this whole thing, which will cover up all these tabs, as you can see, will cover up all these glue spots in case you did mess up on your kit when installing. So you'll never see that anyway. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. And as you can see, let me just do a quick test to show you this functionality here real quick. So go ahead and put the knobs in here. So as you see, this turns. Oops, I didn't line that properly. There we go. So that turns nicely. And then we turn the car on here. We can just go through the controls real quick here. And the lights. So you can't see lights now because it's daytime, but the lights do work on my unit. I did test it beforehand. You can see if you listen carefully, you can hear the controls. Here's a recirculation. Hear that open. And my car does not have AC, but if you have AC, just make sure you check that. Mine does not have AC, so that's why the light's not turning on. There's no relay to that. And then for fan speed controls, this has 5 settings. I only rigged it to 4, so you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 will be the same as 4. And then for hot and cold, will be the same process as normal. Because you wired this correctly, as I showed you, this will be very simple. Just make sure you check that to make sure all your heater systems are working, but they should. It's just a simple cable operation. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Have a nice day and hope you enjoy the kit. Thanks, bye.